If you sell your Indian grandmother-in-law's gold jewelry to pay for college, your marriage is over. If you buy gold during Diwali when prices are at $4,800 an ounce, Americans think you're financially illiterate. Gold just hit $5,000 for the first time ever, and nobody can agree if you're supposed to get rich or get blessed. Today on the Etiquette Enigma, the culture tips about gold that could end your relationship.
Gold topped $5,000 an ounce this week.
Americans are checking their portfolios like they won the lottery. Indian grandmothers are buying more jewelry because Thursday is auspicious.
Classic culture clash.
Here's what Americans do. They buy gold they will never see, never touch, definitely never wear.
Gold ETFs. Digital gold. Theoretical gold in a Swiss vault.
It's about having a number on a screen that says you have gold. We made gold boring.
Indian families are buying gold to bless their daughters' weddings.
Americans are buying gold to impress their accountants. Not the same thing.
Americans look at Indian families buying gold during Diwali when prices are elevated and think, financially illiterate.
Those families are looking at Americans buying paper certificates for gold that might not exist and thinking, spiritually dead.
Both convinced the other is doing it wrong.
Here's a culture tip Western investors don't get. When Indian families buy gold during Diwali, price per ounce is irrelevant.
It's about inviting Lakshmi, goddess of wealth, into your home.
Indian households hold $3.8 trillion in gold. That's 88% of India's entire GDP.
That's not an investment portfolio. That's cultural DNA.
When my grandmother's generation gives you gold jewelry at your wedding, you don't check the spot price.
The gold represents blessing the next generation.
In China, families buy gold during Chinese New Year to invite good fortune, not protect wealth.
Philosophical difference between protecting and transferring.
Red envelopes with gold coins aren't gifting assets, they're transferring blessings.
Wealth you can't touch isn't wealth. It's an abstraction.
Physical gold survived dynasties, wars, revolutions. That's generational memory.
Americans are proud they can liquidate in 3 clicks.
You're buying promises about gold, then congratulating yourself on financial sophistication?
Invisible number versus visible prosperity.
When Indian families buy gold during festivals, regardless of price, they're not being irrational.
Different definition of value.
Maybe, does this bring spiritual meaning to my family, is a better question than, will this beat the S&P 500?
The personal finance subreddit just had a stroke.
So this actually happened to someone I know. Sarah inherited her Indian grandmother-in-law's gold jewelry collection. $52,000 worth.
That's significant.
She suggested to her husband that they sell it and put the money toward their kids' college fund. Practical, right?
I'm guessing the husband did not find this practical.
He went completely silent. Then his mother found out about the suggestion.
And that's when Sarah learned that maximize utility is not a universal value.
Sarah's thinking is perfectly logical from her perspective. 4 years of education versus jewelry she'll never wear. Obvious choice.
But his family is hearing, I want to liquidate your matriarch's spiritual legacy to pay for a resume line.
The grandmother wore that gold through her wedding, her children's births, decades of prayers and festivals. That blessing is literally priceless.
Sarah sees $52,000. They see something you can't put a number on.
This is how maximize utility ends marriages.
There's a similar dynamic that plays out at work. I've seen this with colleagues buying gold during Diwali.
When prices are elevated?
Exactly. Gold's at $4,800 an ounce, near peak prices, and their American co-workers absolutely cannot handle it.
Why are you buying now? This is the worst possible timing.
But from the Indian colleague's perspective, Diwali timing is perfect. The blessing matters.
So the American is watching someone commit what looks like financial malpractice, buying at peak valuation with zero concern for dollar cost averaging.
Meanwhile, the Indian colleague is watching someone worship a line graph and wondering when Americans became this hollow.
Because here's the thing. She knows gold might drop 20%. She doesn't care.
The blessing matters more than the market return.
From her perspective, the American worldview is just, what if we made every single human decision based on money?
And she finds that genuinely sad.
Then you've got wedding scenarios where these value systems collide spectacularly.
How so?
Chinese wedding, traditional gold gifts from extended family. The American bride's father, who's an accountant, tallies everything up. $85,000 in gold.
Let me guess. He wants to report it for taxes.
The Chinese family is completely confused. Report what? This isn't a gift. This is a blessing.
And the accountant is explaining that the IRS doesn't have a tax category for blessings.
The grandfather's response is perfect. Then your government is spiritually bankrupt.
Both are completely right. It's legally taxable and culturally sacred at the same time.
Which brings us to the uncomfortable question nobody wants to ask. What if the Western approach to gold is genuinely worse?
Not financially worse. Obviously, paper gold trading is more efficient.
But what if efficiency isn't the point? What if turning gold into a portfolio line item stripped away everything that made it valuable to humans for 5,000 years?
Indian and Chinese families are using gold to strengthen family bonds, honor ancestors, transfer blessings across generations.
Americans are using gold to make numbers go up on a screen.
So the irrational cultural attachment to physical gold might actually be more rational than the rational financial optimization.
What if the whole Western financial system has gaslit us into thinking meaning doesn't matter?
That's the uncomfortable bit.
But you can flip it. What if Eastern cultures' refusal to optimize gold buying is actually holding back wealth creation?
That 3.8 trillion in Indian household gold isn't earning any returns.
If that were invested in productive assets instead of sitting in jewelry boxes, could it lift millions out of poverty?
So, are we respecting cultural values or excusing economic inefficiency by calling it tradition?
Because your grandmother's blessing doesn't pay for medical bills when you need them.
Which means both systems might be wrong.
Western financial nihilism, where only returns matter, versus Eastern cultural preservation that might perpetuate poverty.
Maybe Americans are spiritually dead and Indians are economically suboptimal.
Maybe everyone loses. So what's the answer? Should Indians stop buying gold during Diwali to avoid peak pricing?
Should Americans buy actual gold jewelry and feel something?
The answer is, there is no answer.
One values meaning over money. The other values money over meaning.
Americans buying invisible gold to feel smart. Indians buying blessed gold to honor ancestors. Chinese buying physical gold because they remember what happens when governments collapse.
Everyone's certain their way is correct.
We talked about gift giving in episode 11. The meaning matters more than we thought.
Next episode, we're tackling why American weddings cost $30,000, while Danish couples spend 20 minutes at City Hall.
Americans are getting fleeced by the wedding industrial complex. If this made you defensive about your investment strategy or cultural traditions, good.
Hit subscribe and tell us why we're wrong in the comments.
We'll read them and feel nothing.
See you Wednesday when we discuss why Americans pay BMW prices for one day of cultural performance.